Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving deep into the compelling history of World War II through the lens of the leaders who defined it. These iconic photos don't just show faces, they reveal the weight of decisions that shaped the world's fate. From the grand strategies to the intense moments of leadership, we'll explore how these figures left their indelible mark on history. Join us as we unravel the stories behind these powerful images and discover the lasting legacy of these influential leaders. This historic image captures Winston Churchill and Franklin D. Roosevelt, two key leaders during World War II. Their close partnership and strategic discussions were vital in steering the Allies to victory. The camaraderie seen here reflects the strong bond and mutual respect that helped shape the course of history. In this powerful image, we witness Joseph Stalin and Nikita Khrushchev, two key figures of the Soviet Union, engaged in discussion. Their conversation likely revolves around crucial decisions shaping the future of their nation. This moment reflects the political dynamics of the time, with Stalin as the dominant leader and Khrushchev as his close advisor, who would later rise to prominence in Soviet history. In this photograph, we see Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini inspecting a naval honor guard. This image captures the alliance between Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy during World War II, reflecting their military cooperation and shared ambitions in Europe. The stern expressions and formal military setting underline the gravity of their partnership in the Axis powers, a force that would lead Europe into one of the darkest periods of its history. In this photograph, we see Emperor Hirohito of Japan during a formal diplomatic event. The image captures a moment of somber respect and interaction, reflecting the complex role Hirohito played during and after World War II as both a symbolic and political figure in Japan. In this photograph, Winston Churchill is seen aiming a rifle during a military shooting exercise. Surrounded by military officers and officials, Churchill's focused stance underscores his deep involvement in wartime leadership and military preparedness. This image captures a moment that reflects Churchill's hands-on approach and his commitment to understanding and overseeing military operations during World War II. In this photo, Adolf Hitler is seen discussing military strategies with several high-ranking German officers during World War II. The image captures an intense moment of planning, with Hitler pointing to a map spread out on the table, surrounded by his generals. The officers, all dressed in military uniforms, are focused on the discussion, indicating the gravity of the decisions being made. This scene reflects the strategic planning sessions that were crucial to the operations of the German military during the war. The photograph gives insight into the command structure and the way decisions were orchestrated in the Third Reich's military campaigns. In this photograph, we see Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, standing with Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands. They are accompanied by a high-ranking naval officer. Roosevelt is dressed in a white suit, holding a hat and cane, symbolizing his leadership during World War II. The scene likely captures a moment of diplomatic importance, reflecting the alliance between the United States and the Netherlands during the war. The presence of Queen Wilhelmina, a symbol of Dutch resistance against Nazi occupation, further underscores the significance of the occasion. In this photograph, Benito Mussolini, the Italian dictator, is seen inspecting his troops. Mussolini, known for his militaristic posture and nationalist policies, is dressed in his military uniform, signifying his role as the leader of Italy during World War II. The soldiers in the background are standing in formation, with one soldier giving a fascist salute, a common practice in Italy during Mussolini's rule. The image captures a moment of Mussolini's influence over the Italian military, showcasing his leadership style that emphasized discipline and strength. This photograph captures a significant moment between Winston Churchill and Mackenzie King, Prime Minister of Canada. The image shows Churchill raising his hat in a gesture of greeting or farewell, standing alongside Mackenzie King. Both figures are dressed in dark overcoats, reflecting the serious tone of the wartime era. The scene likely represents a moment of diplomacy or camaraderie between two key leaders of the Allied forces during World War II. The setting, possibly in Ottawa, underscores the close relationship between Britain and Canada during the conflict. In this photograph, we see two of World War II's most infamous leaders, Benito Mussolini and Adolf Hitler, seated together in an open car during a parade or a public event. The image captures a moment of camaraderie between the Italian dictator Mussolini and the German Führer Hitler, both of whom played pivotal roles in the Axis powers during the war. The presence of cheering crowds in the background reflects the political propaganda and the strongman image that both leaders sought to project to their respective nations. This photograph is a stark reminder of the alliance that contributed to some of the most tragic events in modern history. In this photograph, we see John Diefenbaker, the Prime Minister of Canada, sitting alongside Charles de Gaulle, the President of France. The setting appears formal, likely a diplomatic meeting or discussion, where significant political or strategic issues were being addressed. The posture and expressions of the two leaders suggest a serious yet cordial exchange, indicative of the complex international relations of the time. The ornate furniture and interior design reflect the prestige of the venue, possibly a government building or an ambassadorial residence, underscoring the importance of the conversation taking place. In this photograph, we see Franklin D. Roosevelt, then President of the United States, seated alongside Winston Churchill, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, during a key moment in World War II. They are aboard the HMS Prince of Wales, a British battleship, surrounded by military officers and other officials. This meeting symbolizes the strong alliance between the United States and the United Kingdom, which played a crucial role in the outcome of the war. Both leaders appear engaged and reflective, underscoring the gravity of the decisions being made during this historic period. In this photo, we see Soviet leader Joseph Stalin inspecting a military regiment near Moscow. Stalin, dressed in a long military coat, stands prominently in the center, engaging with a military officer while surrounded by a group of men, including high-ranking officers and government officials. The scene conveys a sense of authority and leadership, as Stalin appears to be assessing the readiness and morale of the troops during a critical period in Soviet history. The gathering of military personnel and officials around Stalin emphasizes the importance of the occasion and the high level of coordination within the Soviet leadership. This iconic photograph captures three of the most powerful leaders of the 20th century during a pivotal moment in World War II. Seated from left to right are Soviet Premier Joseph Stalin, US President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. The image was taken during the Tehran Conference, where the leaders met to discuss military strategy against Nazi Germany in the post-war world order. The solemn expressions and composed postures of these men underscore the gravity of the discussions that would shape the course of history. This meeting was crucial in solidifying the Allied powers' strategy and cooperation, which eventually led to the defeat of the Axis powers. This photograph captures a formal handshake between two prominent leaders during World War II. Both are dressed in formal military attire, highlighting the militaristic nature of their regimes. The image symbolizes the diplomatic and military alliance between Japan and Manchukuo during this period, reflecting the complex relationships and power dynamics in East Asia during the war. The scene is set in a formal setting, indicating the importance of the meeting in the context of their political and military objectives. In this photograph, two prominent figures meet during World War II. Adolf Hitler, the leader of Nazi Germany, is shown shaking hands with Hiroshi Oshima, the Japanese ambassador to Germany. The meeting highlights the strong alliance between Germany and Japan during the war, known as the Axis powers. The exchange symbolizes the cooperation and shared military objectives between these two nations in their efforts during the global conflict. The formal attire and serious expressions reflect the gravity of the situation as both leaders strategize their war efforts. In this iconic photograph from the Yalta Conference during World War II, we see three of the most powerful leaders of the 20th century, Winston Churchill, Franklin D. Roosevelt, and Joseph Stalin, seated together. This image captures a pivotal moment in history as these leaders met in February 1945 to discuss the future of Europe and the world in the aftermath of the war. The Yalta Conference was crucial in shaping the post-war order, leading to decisions on the division of Germany, the fate of Eastern Europe, and the establishment of the United Nations. The agreements made here not only marked the end of the war, but also laid the groundwork for the Cold War that would dominate global politics for decades. The relaxed yet serious demeanor of the leaders reflects the gravity of their discussions and the immense responsibility they carried in shaping the future of the world. In this photograph, President Franklin D. Roosevelt is seated alongside Soviet Foreign Minister Vyacheslav Molotov. The image captures a moment of diplomatic discussion, likely centered on the ongoing efforts and strategies during World War II. Both leaders are shown in a serious but composed manner, indicating the gravity of the topics being discussed. The presence of a world map in the background underscores the global scale of the conflict and the significant roles that both the United States and the Soviet Union played in shaping the outcome of the war. This meeting is a reflection of the critical alliances formed during this period, which were pivotal in the defeat of the Axis powers. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. See you in the next one.